Hello, once again, everybody. Welcome back to another The Couch is Yours. And my name is Davriel Valley. I'm a licensed mental health counselor as well as clinical traumatologist, relationship expert, and a recent author. Welcome to season 2 of The Couch is Yours. Now, during these conversations, we try to provide a safe space to discuss all things related to mental health. These are human experiences, which tend to be subjective. So everyone will have a different experience. And so, if at any time you feel triggered by these conversations, feel free to just log off and take a step back. If you feel like you are in a crisis or you would just like to work on some of the things that you hear here addressed today, then you can click the link in my bio and select mental health resources to get any kind of assistance that you may need. Okay? The goal of this series is to allow those who listen to recognize that they're not alone and that they can always grow, they can always heal, and they can always evolve into whoever they want to be. So with that being said, welcome back to The Couch is Yours. Now, in our last episode, we had an amazing time with Racine McKenzie from Upward Counseling and Psychological Services in Trinidad and Tobago. And it was an amazing experience. She brought down the house because that conversation was all about us debunking some of the myths that tend to be in therapy. Okay, so a lot of people have a lot of questions about therapy and questions about, how much does therapy cost? Do I have to be in therapy forever? Like, what does it take to become a therapist? And so, if any of these kind of questions intrigue you, I'd really encourage you to go and look at the full live that we had. It's in our bio. You can find it on our Instagram page. All right, so now today we have another special guest, and I'm so excited to have her on because, to be honest, this is a conversation that's really, really needed. Okay, a lot of people don't talk about it, but it's an experience that is very, very common to a lot of women. And so today I have another guest called Shirley Math Osagi, who is a Christian wife and mother, an Instagram blogger, and she also did a bachelor's in social psychology. And we will be talking about the transition to motherhood. Hello, Shirley. Welcome to the couch.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Of course, I'm excited to have you here because, like I was saying, I think that this conversation is very needed. Many people kind of don't talk about what we're going to talk about today. And
Yeah,
so I'm really glad to have you here and have the opportunity to welcome you. So tell us a bit about yourself before we actually get into the conversation.
sure, absolutely. My name is Shirley Matosagi. I'm originally from Haiti, but my family, we live in Everett, Massachusetts for over almost 13 years now.
Wow.
My mother lived there, and that's where I did my studies. I went to Everett High School and did my studies in Massachusetts. But when we had my daughter, my husband and I, we decided to move to a totally different state, which is Rhode Island.
Wow.
And it's been great. So I have a daughter, a 7 month old, and I'm married to my best friend. And yeah, so that's all me.
Girl, you gonna make us tear up in here. Married to your best friend. Oh, that's so sweet. I know we have several people that's joined us, and many will join us in the future as well. And I know a lot of people will watch the live. We tend to get a lot more views when it's watched back. But I'm so grateful for you to share your story with us. I mean, you said you moved. with your best friend. Um, but you moved after you had your daughter. That you moved states.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you moving with a newborn?
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. It was very much challenging.
Yeah.
But having my mother-in-law, she came from Nigeria, so she
Okay.
was able to help us
Mm-hmm.
while she was holding the baby. I was packing,
Wow.
and thank God that my husband was on paternity leaves at that
Okay.
time. So
Wow.
we were able to, just help one another. So it was just the three of us, my mother-in-law, oh well, four of us, my mother-in-law, my daughter, which she couldn't do anything.
Yeah, she doesn't
Uh,
count.
yeah. Yeah, so it was pretty much challenging, but we did it, and I'm so glad we did it. We love our place. We love Rhode Island. Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, what an experience having a baby on the hip and you're packing bags, you're shifting your life, you're moving.
Right.
Oh my goodness. That
Yeah,
takes a lot. I'm sure
I
many
know.
sleepless nights.
Right, right. And it was also postpartum, and the doctor said, don't do anything too hard,
Oh
all that. And
wow.
then you're like, wait, but I have to pack. I have to move. What do you mean,
Wow.
Yeah.
You mentioned something that your husband was on paternity leave, which
Mm.
is something I don't think people in the Caribbean hear a lot.
Really?
Yeah, like I feel I could be wrong, but I honestly feel like we're so accustomed to hearing maternity leave and the mother taking time off, but the husband
Not
is
the
still,
dad.
yeah, the dad. I don't know if it's even like given allowed in most companies that he's allowed to get that time off. I have to search that. If anyone knows in the comments, you'll let me know. But
Right,
usually
right.
it's mom that gets the time off. But that is so important though that the father has that paternity leave because he
Yes,
also
yes,
needs to
absolutely.
bond with the child and help mom in
Mhm.
whatever way. So that's
Yeah.
amazing that he was able to be there for you during that time.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for that, and if it was not for that, what will I do? My mom lives about 30 minutes away because
Mm.
that we were in Massachusetts then.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just the two of us, and I'm so glad that he was able to take time off from work and be with us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's amazing that he was able to be a part of such a crucial part of your lives. You were
Mhm.
moving, but you had just had this baby girl, and so many transitions, which
Yeah,
even
yeah.
when change is positive, people feel like there should be no stress, but haha, there is still stress.
Ah,
There's
right.
still a
That is,
lot of stress.
yeah.
So,
Right, right.
yeah. Okay, so what kind of stereotypes about motherhood did you hear while you were growing up? Like what sort of stereotypes?
Well, absolutely. Like, what is it to be a strong woman, like a strong mom, like a good mom, Just because I'm taking time off my baby, that doesn't mean that I'm a bad mom. Just that, like growing
Yeah.
up, I've never seen, you have to be with the baby all the time,
Right.
and it's just you. So I just feel like taking time off, not
Mm-hmm.
time off your baby, but taking time for
Yeah.
yourself. Maybe like go for a walk.
Mm.
And I remember the first time I actually took time for myself, I felt so guilty. I know that guilt is mom guilt,
I
but
call it that. Oh my gosh. I
you know,
legit
I
call it
feel
mom guilt.
I just felt like so guilty. I'm like, oh my gosh, does that mean that I'm not a good mom? I need that time. I need time for myself, and I'm an introvert, right? So
Right.
that means that I need to take that time, just to,
Build
um,
your energy
yeah,
banks, right? Charge up.
exactly. Yeah, so it was challenging for me. It's something that I had to relearn. It's just because I take time off of my child, that doesn't mean I'm a bad mother.
I want you to speak a bit more on that mom guilt because it is such a crucial concept that a lot of
Right.
people don't realize, but I think probably every good mother has experienced, right? I see a lot of women uh, as clients who are mothers, and that's the number one thing that they battle with, that
Yeah.
guilt that comes up whenever they have to do the smallest of things, the
Right.
smallest of things for themselves to make themselves feel okay. They feel
Mm.
guilty. So elaborate a bit more on just how it kind of shows up for you, and how do you kind of work through it.
For me, it was more like, let's say that I have to do my hair or I have to go do my nails, things
Mm-hmm.
like that. I just felt guilty leaving the baby with my husband.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, what if something happened, but nothing is gonna happen? But I just feel so guilty leaving her. I felt like I wasn't doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I felt like I'm not like a good mom. Like I say, a good mom, being a good mom, you have to be there for your baby all the time. That's what I knew. But as I go through motherhood, I just felt so burnt out because I didn't want to have that time for myself. When I start, taking time for myself, even if it's 10 minutes, my husband take the baby to another room and just time, or in the morning when everybody's sleeping, wake up and have that time for myself. It really helped me to be a better mom. I'm more patient when I take time for myself. Um, yeah.
Wow. I mean, it's really something else because you're not talking about going out and like partying.
No.
Right? You're not talking
No.
about a girl's night out on the town. You're not talking about anything
No.
like that. You're talking about just basic
Right.
human needs of, okay,
Yeah.
taking care of yourself, putting yourself back together, right? Because motherhood ain't pretty. It could be real messy.
Yeah.
And you're talking about kind of grooming yourself and having that opportunity to just feel not only like a mother but first like a woman, right?
Yes,
Because you
yes.
also still have a husband, right?
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
It's
Oh
like
my,
people
yeah.
forget that, hey, he's there.
Right.
He still needs his own
He's
attention.
still there. Exactly. And we know, we've been married for 2 years. So
Yeah.
that means that, it's still new to us. So we
Right.
need time for ourselves as well, you know?
Right. So he's still there. You still want as a woman to feel attractive to your husband,
Exactly.
but
That's
you're a
what
mom that being mom is messy. You have poop, you have spit, you have hair flying everywhere. And so all you want is
I.
sometimes that moment to just groom yourself, to just
Yeah.
take a long shower, right? And there
Yeah.
that grief, that guilt comes creeping up, making you feel like, oh, I'm a bad mom for taking an extra 5 minutes in this bath, or I'm a bad mom for, not being there with the baby constantly, for giving her to her own father for too long, right? Um, that mom guilt is real. And I don't think it's like, I don't think people warn you about it when you become a mother,
Oh my goodness.
right?
No.
They don't warn
No.
you that that guilt will show up and that you will
Mm.
feel so bad doing the smallest of things for yourself, and that you have to kind of just work through that, because honestly, it's misplaced guilt. Guilt is when
Yeah.
you do something bad to hurt someone else and you feel bad
Ah.
about it,
Mhm.
but you haven't done anything wrong,
Right.
right?
Right.
So what are you feeling guilty about?
Right.
Right?
Right.
There's nothing so it's misplaced, but you have to kind of work through that and
Mm.
keep taking those opportunities. I love that you said, I get up a little earlier to kind of spend some time with myself.
Mm.
I, go for a walk and I leave her with her dad, and, I come back. Those are great ways to kind of pour into yourself, because like you said, when you get burnt out, then you get more snippy, right? Like you don't have as
Yeah.
much patience with your baby. You don't have all of that attention that you can give to them.
Mhm, mhm,
And
mhm.
so a lot of moms think that not taking care of themselves is being best for their kids, but it's the
Right.
opposite.
That's so true. I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to take care of you. Have you been on a plane? I'm not gonna ask you if you you've been on a plane. And I'm sure there are a lot of people who are listening who have been on a plane, and we don't ever listen to the air hostess anymore because we're like, ah, we're frequent flyers. But anyway, they always tell you if you have a child and the air mask comes down, put it on yourself first.
Yes. Oh yeah, yeah.
But that goes completely against our motherly instinct, right? I'm not a mom, I ain't there yet. But I'm just saying, if I was, right?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
goes
yeah, yeah.
completely against our instinct because we are like, no, protect them, protect them.
Yes, 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 yes.
But if you try to fight to put on their mask first, you're gonna get knocked out. And then what's
Right.
gonna happen? Both of you are gonna die.
That's true.
So we have to
True.
take care of ourselves first. And then when we're able to be our best selves for us, then we're able to be our best selves for our baby, for our
People.
husband, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that is a relationship as well that still needs nurturing even while transitioning into motherhood. So that
Absolutely.
mom guilt, girl, you brought up such a good point with that mom guilt because it is real.
Ah, it is.
Talk to me a bit about because you also mentioned that yeah he's there too, right? Talk to me a bit about that transition. Actually, no, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Let me
Mhm.
ask this first. What kind of advice did you receive from others while you were pregnant? So let's start at the beginning before baby in hand. Let's go to pregnancy. What was some of the advice that you got?
Definitely when my husband and I we usually go for a walk and people will tell us, okay, your life is about to change, you know?
Dum 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 dum. Dramatic music.
Yeah, like your life is about, it was nothing positive. Like everything was just negative, you know?
Mm.
It's like your life is about to change. So, heads up. But
Enjoy it while
uh
it lasts.
exactly. That's exactly what people said. And, it was just one of those times like, I'm sure there's some positive thing about being a mother, and having a baby. But it was just those advice. It also helped me to have like, okay, it's gonna be hard,
Mm.
but I'm gonna try to focus on the positive because I'm such an optimistic person. I try to look, to see where the light is, right? Instead of focusing on all the bad. But also, people were saying, okay, drink a lot of water, walk so much, the baby will come faster. But I'm so grateful. It's not like those advice were bad; they actually were good advice. People actually tell us. I'm so grateful for that.
Can you see? I'm drinking my water.
Oh, your water. I have some water.
Since that was one of the advice you got, I'm making sure to stay hydrated from now, gotta be prepared.
Right.
Wow. So it sounds like a lot of the things that you were told was very, or more on the negative side than on the
Yeah.
positive side.
Mhm.
Was it only strangers, or was some of the advice that you got, did it come from family as well?
So my mom was more like, okay, make sure you pray, pray over your belly, pray over what you want, how you want God to work through that child and things like that. So my mom was more focusing on the spiritual and, but when we walk down the street, it's not like we ask people for anything, but people's like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty, but your life is about to change. It's like, bum, 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 bum.
It's like they couldn't help themselves. They meet a random
Yeah,
stranger and it's like, oh,
exactly.
here
Like
you
your
go.
life is about to change. Heads up. Um, yeah, but advice we got from my parents, like, from my mom and my dad, they were more like, pray over our belly and pray for a baby and how we want God to work through her.
So it was
Mm.
more along the spiritual side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So tell us about your experience with pregnancy and labor. As you would like to share, as much as you would want to share that experience with us.
Yeah, I just feel like there's not enough information out there for people like me, right? Who just
Mm,
but like I was, as a new person getting pregnant, I didn't know a lot of things and what to eat,
mm,
and how to take care of my body. And there's not enough information of, saying okay, this is how your body's going to change, all the changes that come with pregnancy. It was just like, oh my God, this is happening now.
wow.
I feel like I didn't know a lot of things and maybe they out there and I didn't look for them. But I definitely, if someone out there is trying to get pregnant, like just do your research and all
Mm,
the changes that come, and nobody can prepare you for pregnancy, right? um yeah, it just my body. And I had this petite body type body, and to see it's like
yeah.
my belly's coming out. It was just like an experience I've never forgot.
Yeah.
Every
Wow.
week, at some point I couldn't walk. It was just like, wait, what's happening to me? um but again, I don't want to complain. I know there are some people out there who had it the hardest, right? So I'm glad that it wasn't a hard pregnancy. It was a normal pregnancy. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. No, definitely. I you brought up a point about knowing your body in a certain way
Mhm.
and then seeing it change. And
Right.
everybody's like, "Oh, you have the little belly, right? Oh, so cute." But it's happening to you. So,
Exactly.
and you don't
So
know
you don't
yourself
see it
like
as
this.
cute. It's like,
You don't know yourself like this,
that's
right?
yeah, right, right. It's like I don't know who I'm looking at in the mirror. So okay, as everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, you're so pretty! Look at your belly; it's like a soccer ball." I'm like, "No, thank you."
You're like, this is not cute to me at all.
It's not cute to me at all.
It's a huge
Um,
adjustment.
yeah, it is. It is. And I think we don't talk about that enough, We talk about having the baby and, things
Mm,
like that, but we don't talk about, all the changes that we go through as women, when we trying to have a baby, the changes that our bodies go through.
yeah.
Uh,
You
yeah.
mentioned even not being able to walk at one point.
Mm.
What was that like? Kind of seeing your limitations. So, yes, your body was changing, but now there's certain things that you would have been able to do before that you're not able to do or not in the same way. So, what was that experience like?
Well, it was hard. I'm a young person and I'm watching myself. I can't even tie my shoe. I'm like,
Wow.
okay, my husband will tie my shoe for me. But walking around the house and trying to, cook, and I'm one of those people I can't just lay down all day. I
Mm,
need to be doing something. So that was the hardest, like just lay down and rest.
wow.
But it was hard. But I'm so happy that we have my daughter right now, and I feel like it was all worth it. And if I have to go to it over again, I'll go to it again.
Just for
Just
her.
happy. Yeah, she's the sweetest.
Aw, that's so so beautiful to hear that even though it was a struggle that you got through it. Did you experience morning sickness? I know everybody's
Oh
pregnancy
my
is
God.
different.
Well, my wasn't as hard as other, I didn't have like I didn't have I wasn't vomiting, like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that in the morning, but I was so nauseous, everything. I
Mm,
felt like I wanted to throw up, but
no.
but it was just like I was just nauseous.
Oh.
And I'm a vegan. I wanted to eat meat so bad. I
Your
wanted to
baby
eat
wasn't vegan.
no. I wanted to eat meat so bad. And I was like, nope, we're not eating meat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, okay, I've heard, and I don't know, again, everybody is different, but I've heard that like the first trimester is the hardest, and then after
Oh,
you make it through that, it gets a little easier. So was that true for you? What was that experience like of the first trimester?
oh, it is. I mean, the first trimester is the hardest because all the changes that come with it, right? It's like your body's changing. But the second trimester, you kind of like get used to it. And that's when you do the baby shower. It reminds you why you started doing this why you doing this in the first place, like the purpose for it. The second trimester is the best. But the first is the hardest. That's when you have the morning sickness and you're not able to walk, and yeah, your feet is swollen.
Mm, 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 mm. I love food. I love food. Like, I'm a lover of
Right,
food. I'm a foodie. So,
right.
were you able to eat things that you originally liked, or did you get turned off of
No,
everything?
I hated everything that I liked, like
No.
kales. Like I couldn't eat that at all, And all I needed is actually, I like Nigerian food, like
Yeah.
the jollof rice. I don't know if you're familiar with the jollof rice,
No.
the That's all I wanted to eat,
Oh,
you
wow.
know, and nothing else. I wanted meat, but I was like, I'm a vegan, baby. You're not gonna make me eat meat, right? But I hated most of my food, all of the vegan food. I didn't like them at all.
Wow. Did you experience losing a lot of weight? Like, I know some people um, lose weight sometimes during their pregnancy, which can be kind of scary. And you're saying
Mm.
that everything kind of made you nauseous. So, did you lose some weight
Yeah,
or?
that was the first trimester though.
Okay.
The second and the third, that's when like I started eating more, and
Mm-hmm.
I gained a lot of weight actually through my pregnancy. Yeah.
Okay, so you gained weight. So talk
Mhm.
to me a bit about the actual labor experience. So you've gone through the 9 months, you did the work, right? You had the swollen feet, but now here the big moment arrives. What was that like?
OMG. So the labor, we went to the hospital around 4 p.m., right?
Okay.
So I was 42 weeks pregnant.
Wow.
So that means that the baby didn't want to come out, right? So we went to the hospital for me to get induced,
Mm-hmm.
and that was at 4 p.m. And when we got there, the doctor said, "Okay, you're gonna be here for maybe 2 days or 3 days, so we don't know yet. So what we will do, we're just gonna give you that medicine to make your cervix
Mm-hmm.
rip a little bit, your
Mm-hmm.
cervix open,
Mm-hmm.
and then we actually going to give you some medicine to help you sleep, right?"
Wow.
So they actually gave me the pill that helped my cervix to be open, and
Mm-hmm.
in that process, I started having contraction. I was
Mm.
supposed to take pitocin. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Okay, that's what they give you to take the baby out, like the
Wow.
pitocin that help to bring labor.
Okay, okay. Now, what
Yeah.
was the first contraction like? Because again, I want
Oh my
first
god.
experience for people who are new to this, right? So, you've never had a contraction in your life before. This is your first one. What did that feel like?
I told my husband I was gonna die.
Oh
And I
my
was
god.
telling him, "Oh my god, I'm gonna die today." And the interesting thing, what happened is my doula didn't show up.
Oh.
So it was just me and my husband in the womb,
Mhm.
and me going through all this, and I don't know what to do. I did watch, I took a class,
Mhm.
but once you are in that phase, you sort of like don't remember anything.
Right.
You're trying to do anything that would help the pain to stop, but the pain doesn't stop. And I wanted to have a natural labor, right?
Right.
I didn't want to take the epidural. I didn't
Mhm.
want to do that. So I
Mhm.
just wanted to have her natural. And I started having, oh my goodness, I didn't know what to do. I went to the bathroom, and I started yelling at the nurse. I'm a nice person, but all of a sudden, I don't know what's happening. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, can you help me? Like, what are you doing? I started yelling at the nurse. All of a sudden, I was a different person, and I was holding my husband like, take out your mask. I need to see your face.
He probably was afraid of you.
Oh
Oh
my
my.
goodness. It was so hard. It was, oh my gosh. I've never felt that pain in my whole life.
Oh
It
wow.
was something else.
And so then when the labor actually started, I mean, was it all that intense or
Well, when labor, so what happened is that I was trying to sleep because they gave me the medicine
mhm.
to sleep. And when labor started, I was half asleep. I was trying to stay awake, but I couldn't.
Wow. You were knocked
And
out.
yeah, I couldn't. And I remember I remember certain things when the nurse came in the room, I said, the baby's coming. And she was like,
Mm.
no, you're supposed to be here for 2 days. But I was like, the baby's coming now. At that time, it
Wow.
was 3 a.m., right? Remember,
Wow.
we went to the hospital at 4 p.m.
Mhm.
So at that time, it was 3 a.m.
Oh wow.
And then I was like, the baby's here. And I only did 3 push. I think that was all the walking.
Yeah.
And the baby was here.
Oh, she was like, "Okay, I'm arrive."
Yeah. But I was all asleep. Like I was half asleep,
Oh
And I
wow.
remember when I was pushing and I was like, what's happening to me? What's happening? Why I can't stay awake? What's
Oh no, that drug had you
So
out
I
of
was
it.
half asleep. And after everything was over and the doctor was trying to explain to me what I needed to do at home,
Mhm.
like when I got home, I couldn't even remember because the medicine was
Right.
still, it was still there. I couldn't even remember anything.
Wow. So he didn't wait until you were more awake to explain
I was, oh my God.
like, "Doc, what are you
Yeah,
doing?"
yeah, yeah. It was just a day I'll never forget, and I know
Mhm.
it's different for other people,
Yeah.
who goes to labor half asleep.
You do. You do, Shirley, you do.
I couldn't stay awake. I was like, "What's happening? Am I
Oh my god.
in
I mean, that's a an interesting dream to have, right?
a
But did
dream?"
the you being partly asleep, did it dull the pain at least? Or
Actually, it didn't. I do remember all the pain, I do remember, but I didn't have the strength to fight the pain. I just let the
mm,
pain be. I think that
wow.
helps.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
So we spoke earlier about mom guilt.
Mhm.
And now you've shared with us your journey to becoming a mom, right? Um,
Mhm.
how did becoming a mother impact your mental health?
I'm definitely more stressed
Mm,
than I used to be. I'm
mm-hmm.
thinking I'm a perfectionist. I like
Mm,
things to be certain ways, and you know that motherhood is very messy. It
mm-hmm.
doesn't allow you to be everything to be perfect.
Wow.
Right. So I just want everything to be perfect, but that's not always happen. And also
Mm-hmm.
I have stress, like, okay, I don't want anything to happen to my daughter. What if something happened to me? And I started having like more fear in some
Mm-hmm.
ways
Wow.
of, what if I die? Like I've never had those thoughts before, right?
Yeah.
But now I'm like, okay, what if something happened to me? What if something happened, to my baby?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always so anxious.
Mm, mm.
uh, yeah, I know that's not a good thing.
No, but I mean, you're describing something that I think happens naturally because you're so concerned about this child that you want to protect with your everything, and so all of the fears, right, are just like coming up for you. Wow. So other than anxiety, stress, fear, was there anything else that you've experienced mentally since becoming a mom?
I feel more confident.
Mm. Okay, tell us
Definitely
how.
more confident. I just feel like I know God has given me this baby and he knows that I can do this, right?
Mm,
I know that in my ability, I remember telling my husband, I know that she has everything that she needs in me, in
mm,
us,
wow.
so whenever she's crying, I just have to slow myself down, like, oh, just breathe, this baby you have, you everything she needs, so
Wow.
you can do it. Yeah, I'm definitely more confident and more fearless, to make decision, to take that step, or yeah.
I love that. Just warmed my heart. I don't know. Hearing you say she has everything that you need. It's already in you. That God gave that to you, and so you don't have to search for it elsewhere. Right? That it's already in you, and you have to believe it. You have to slow
Yeah, yeah.
yourself down and calm yourself for her,
Hmm.
and she will get it. She will get all that you have to give her. I think that
Yeah.
was beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's how it impacted your mental health.
Mm.
Um, and you said motherhood is messy, and I'm sure that there are times that you would have made mistakes, right? During,
Mm.
while she's here. Have you ever felt guilty for doing something that you felt like, oh, oops, was an actual mistake, and had to kind of work through? Oh, I'm learning. I'm a new mother, just like she's learning to be a human, right? I'm learning to be a mother.
Yeah, I'm not
Um,
a bad person. I'm just learning.
Right. Has anything happened? Like it happens to I think all parents, right? Either you drop the kid or something. Like, has anything happened that kind of taught you to be a bit more gentle with yourself, while you're learning to be a mother?
Yeah, I remember when I was showering her the first time,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like maybe I should wear another cool to shower the baby. And the water wasn't hot, like it wasn't hot enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I put her little fit and she was I was like,
Oh,
what's wrong?
yeah,
And I
yeah.
realized that the water wasn't warm enough. And I was, I'm
Oh,
so sorry.
oh. So it was
You
too
feel
cold for
so
her.
guilty. Yeah, I
Yeah,
felt so guilty. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you.
yeah.
The thing about it being a new mom is that you don't want to hurt your baby,
Mm-hmm.
but still learning.
Yeah.
It's a new thing. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely still learning. I think parenting is always learning. I don't know if
yeah,
you'll ever reach a place where you feel like you have it figured out because she'll be growing, right? And
yeah, yeah.
changing and even in those times, I'm sure even with your mom, if you were to ask her, she'd probably be like, "Oh, I'm still learning too."
Learning. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, wow. So, how did the change of becoming a mother impact your relationship? So that's kind of where I want you to kind of talk to us about how it shifted your relationship with your husband.
Um, well, going through labor together,
Mm-hmm.
he was the only one in the womb with me.
Mm-hmm.
So that really helped us to, like, we have a stronger connection.
Wow.
I think going through that process where he was like just my strength after
Mm.
God, right? I'm holding him, and I remember telling him, I'm gonna die today. And
Wow.
he was
Yeah.
like, you're not gonna die. He's holding me. He was there and watching the whole thing, and
Wow.
and not move for a second. I think that help our relationship to be stronger. We have a stronger connection because of that. But at the same time, we just had a baby. We had to make a lot of adjustment. We
Mm-hmm.
knew that when it comes to going out and on a date, we just had a new baby and we moved to a new state. So we don't know, a lot of people. So
Yeah.
we can't really say, oh, we're just gonna hire a babysitter. It's
Mm.
like, no, I don't know this girl. you know, I'm super protective. I'm like, no, I don't know this girl, so I'm not gonna hire somebody that I don't know in a state that I don't know. Yeah, so yeah, we definitely have some. After I put the baby down, we had to adjust. Let's watch a movie if it's just like an hour, 2 hour. And I remember we wanted to go out. We had to drive for 1 hour, to my mom
Mm.
to put the baby.
Wow.
She was crying so much, so that we could have time together.
Mm-hmm.
But just cherish every time that we have together. If it's just on the bed, me holding his hand, or, just the little thing, just cherish the little time that we have. And And I know that sometimes we're looking for the big thing. Oh, let's just do this big date. Let's just
Right.
go out. But just we I'm just grateful for the time that we have just watch a movie together while the baby's sleeping, or just hold each other's hands while we on the bed, because we sometimes my daughter sleep with us,
Mm-hmm.
just cuddle our feet
Yeah.
together, just
We'll
that,
cuddle around her, you know?
exactly. Yeah, I think we just it was just a big adjustment, and we knew that we had to adjust our lives and the demand of each other, right?
Mm-hmm. The demand of each other. Wow, that sounds like expectations.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
The expectation of each other.
wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, he sounds like a strong guy to stay in there that entire time with you, cause you were not messing. He's a strong guy. Give him my
Ah,
regards.
yes.
Oh man. So how did you cope with the changes that came with motherhood, adjusting in your relationship, your mental health, mom guilt? How have you coped? What have you been doing to cope with all of it?
I am still learning, and
Mhm.
I think journaling and praying really helped me. And
Mhm.
like I said before, taking time for myself,
Mm.
in spending time with God, because this is an assignment, right?
Ooh.
And
Ooh.
God has
Sis, you
given
preaching.
me.
You preaching now. You
So
preaching.
I actually don't know how to do it without him. I
Wow.
know there's books out there, I read articles,
Mhm.
but this is a specific person God
Yep.
has given us, right? He has a special assignment for her, but how do we raise her
Wow.
into the woman God is calling her to be? So just pray,
Mm.
pray together as a family, pray together, pray just me when waking up in the morning, and asking God for the wisdom.
Yeah.
That has really helped me, but I'm still learning.
Yeah.
This is definitely new, but I'm still learning.
Wow. I mean, mm, that was a whole sermon. You have no idea. It was a whole sermon, and I hope the church was listening. How important is your faith to you?
Oh my goodness. My faith is the reason that I am who I am.
Mm.
I am like a deep Christian. I love God so much. And
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a Christian family. And,
Yeah.
we go to church every Sunday. And that was my life. And that's still my life. And my faith, when we decided to get pregnant, and I knew that this was something that God was calling me to do. And I knew at the beginning, no matter what happened, that he will give me the strength to do it. Even though I went through labor, I was like, I'm gonna die, right?
Lord, I'm
But
coming to you now.
but I knew that this is like a divine assignment.
Yeah.
This is a divine moment,
Mm.
and I'm gonna get through it no matter what. So my faith has really helped me, even through motherhood, just waking up and
Mm-hmm.
thanking God for what I have, and just seeing things in the eye of God, right? Sometimes we wake up, we're like, okay, I don't want to do this day anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm usually not at home. I like to be around people, even though I'm an introvert. So don't judge me. I like to be around so, but it's like now I'm just at home, right?
Yeah.
I'm at home with my baby, and just see that as a good thing.
Mm.
I'm right where I need to be, taking care of my daughter, and that's a gift. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. You okay? So there's a line that I'm gonna quote you. I'm telling you now. I'm gonna quote you. Motherhood is a divine assignment. Yo, 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 yo. That okay. All right. One last question. One last
Right,
question.
right, right, right.
What advice would you give to new mothers or just women who are currently pregnant, right? and probably are having a challenging pregnancy, or maybe it's just it being new, right?
Mhm.
What advice would you give to them?
Just take it easy. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Mm,
It's okay to not feel good today, right? It's okay to wake up and like, okay, I don't want to do this. The thing about society, I think, just because we wanted to be pregnant, we have to be happy all the time, right? We
mm,
have to be like, oh my gosh, every day we wake up, you have to want this. But
right.
some days you will wake up, you're like, I don't want to do this. And
Yeah.
that's okay. The
Mm,
thing is, we don't want it to be okay. It's okay to wake up and feel like, okay, I don't feel like I want to do this. I don't want to be pregnant. Can I stop being pregnant?
yeah. I'm over it.
That's okay. Those are feelings that we should accept, right?
Mm,
So just take it easy and have grace for yourself. That's the word. Like
wow.
just grace yourself, and it's okay. It's okay. All those feelings are valid. Um,
Mm.
yeah.
It's beautiful advice that I hope that any new mothers, or anybody who's pregnant currently, or even for people who know someone who's pregnant, because I feel like everybody right now knows someone who's pregnant.
Back with the
COVID
pandemic.
babies, right? To just
Hey,
remind them to be gentle with yourself, have grace with
yeah.
yourself. There will be days that you don't want to do this because it is
Yeah.
hard, it is challenging,
But
but to just have that grace with yourself each and every day.
mhm.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I'm gonna open it up to anyone who's listening. If they have any questions or comments that you would like to share with us, we have Steffi that just said, it's okay, right? And she did the prayer hands. Anybody else who would like to share a comment or say some beautiful words to Miss Shirley here? Anything you want to say? In the meantime, while we wait on some of the comments, I'm going to open it up to you, Shirley, to share with the people where they can follow you because you have a beautiful page. So let them know all of the things that you're working on and where they can follow you.
Yeah, so I do have a blog, so you guys can follow my Instagram page if you like. I'm sure my name is in this, so you can just click on my name and follow me, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
follow you back. Yeah.
Yeah, love it. So I think that the ending or the cap of this really is what you said, that quote, right? That motherhood is a divine assignment.
Yeah.
That was perfect. Thank you so much, Shirley, for being here with us, for sharing your story with us, being vulnerable with us. I really do believe that this message will reach to people that need to hear it. Steffi is also saying thank you for being open and real with us.
Oh.
It's really, really beautiful for you to come on here, and I didn't know you, right? I just saw your page and I was like, oh, I don't know, something about her. I like it. So I invited you on, but you could have said no. And I'm really happy that you took a leap of faith, and really did open up and share all of your experiences with us. We know that it may not be others' experiences. We know that you're not a pro or an expert, but you're a mom. You are a mom.
Right.
And
Right.
just hearing your experience as a mom is so uplifting to new mothers and people who are going to become mothers. So really, thank you so so much. Do you have any last words that you would like to share before we wrap up?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for actually for having me. I've It's just such an honor to be able to share my experience. Sometimes you write something in the journal, you're like, okay, I'm never gonna share this,
Yeah.
but I'm glad that I can come in and share my experience, and hopefully that will encourage somebody out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely believe it will. It really will. This is needed. This is a conversation that needs to have more traction, right?
Mhm.
And so, if anybody, like I said, has any comments or questions, if you came late, because I'm seeing some people coming in late, there will be the full live will be on YouTube. So go into my bio and you will find it. But Instagram has become a little technical, so they don't let us post hour long videos anymore. So only a clip will be on Instagram. But feel free to leave your comments still. Feel free to leave your questions, and we will definitely still answer even though the live is finished. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. This was another episode of The Couch is Yours. Thank you so much again, Shirley, for being an awesome and amazing guest. And we will see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.